Ron, this cup is a symbol of independence. It's not mass-produced, it's one of a kind.
Good. Everything should be unique and self-made.
But what makes it a cup? Its individuality or its handcrafted perfection?
It's a cup because it's not like the others. It stands alone.
So it's a cup because it embodies self-reliance?
Ron, this cup is a testament to man's ingenuity. It's practical and straightforward.
Finally, someone who understands. A cup should be practical, like a well-built canoe.
But what makes it a cup? Its simplicity or its function as a vessel for coffee?
It's a cup because it serves its purpose, without fuss, like a hammer.
So it's a cup because it's utilitarian and unpretentious. This cup, it's like Pawnee, full of heart and a little bit of chaos.
It's just a cup, Leslie.
But what makes it a cup? The community spirit it holds, or the fact that it's always ready for action?
It's a cup because it holds my coffee and doesn't talk. Unlike this conversation.
So it's a cup because it's dependable, like Pawnee. Ron, this cup is essential for survival. It can be used to collect water, start a fire, or trap small game.
Or, just drink coffee.
But what makes it a cup? Its versatility in the wild, or its ability to hold the nectar of life?
It's a cup because it's simple and it works, like a good axe.
So it's a cup because it's a tool for survival?
This cup, Ron, represents the structure of an efficient office. It's regulated and reliable.
It's just a cup. I prefer a sturdy mug made by my own hands.
But what makes it a cup? Its adherence to the rules of fluid containment, or its standard issue design.
It's a cup because it holds liquid without fail, unlike bureaucracy.
So, it's a cup because it's dependable?
Ron, this cup represents the harmony of nature. It's crafted from natural materials.
I appreciate that. A cup should be in tune with the environment.
But what makes it a cup? Its eco-friendly design, or its ability to blend with the wilderness?
It's a cup because it respects nature and serves a purpose.
So it's a cup because it's environmentally conscious?
This cup, it's like our company, full of potential and sometimes really bad coffee.
No, Michael, it's a vessel. It's functionally superior to mugs.
But what makes it a cup? The handle? The fact that it's always there when we need it?
Michael, a cup's value is in its practicality. It's superior to a mug in mobility and utility.
So it's a cup because it's versatile? This cup, it's like the hustle of the city. Always moving, always filled with something.
But what makes it a cup? The constant refill or the material?
It's a cup because it adapts. Just like New Yorkers, it never stays empty for long.
So it's a cup because it's resilient and versatile?
Exactly. It's always ready for the next thing.
This cup, it's a testament to true craftsmanship.
Craftsmanship? Why, Ron, it's just a cup, but it's a charming little object, don't you think?
Charming? It's functional and straightforward. Nothing charming about it.
Why not? I'll pay you.
Pay me for what?
For amusing me. I haven't had this much fun since the time I tried to make artisanal butter and ended up with cottage cheese. This cup, it's like the backbone of the Midwest. Solid and reliable.
But what makes it a cup? Its reliability or the strength it provides.
It's a cup because it's there when you need it. Always dependable.
So it's a cup because it's strong and dependable?
Exactly. It's the unsung hero of the kitchen.
This cup, it's like California. Chill, versatile, and always ready for a good time.
But what makes it a cup? Its versatility or the good times it promises.
It's a cup because it can adapt to any situation, from coffee to cocktails.
So it's a cup because it's flexible and laid back?
Totally. It's all about going with the flow.
This cup, it's like Southern hospitality. Always full and always welcoming.
But what makes it a cup? The hospitality or the coffee it holds?
It's a cup because it's always there to greet you with warmth and comfort.
So it's a cup because it embodies friendliness and warmth?
Yup, it's like a big ol' hug in cup form.
This cup, it's like a bad relationship. Looks useful, but it's mostly empty.
Yeah, but at least it's not toxic.
But what makes it a cup? The fact that it's there when you need it, or that it's always there when you don't?
I think it's just a cup, Sam.
So it's a cup because it's there even when you wish it wasn't?
This cup, it's like our lives, filled with possibilities, yet sometimes just a cup.
Yes, but what makes it a cup? The choices it holds or the chaos it contains.
But what if it's broken? Is it still a cup, or just pieces of our shattered expectations?
It's still a cup, Evelyn, because it reminds us of what we can still fill.
So it's a cup because it's resilient, like us.
This cup, it's like my clients' hair stories, full of drama and occasionally refreshing.
Girl, please, it's just a cup.
But what makes it a cup? The fact that it's holding this overpriced green juice, or that it's part of my morning routine.
Maybe it's just because you need to detox.
So it's a cup because it's my overpriced accessory,
This cup, it's like a good podcast. Keeps you going and sometimes spills tea.
right? But what makes it a cup? The content or the container?
It's the content. A cup without tea is just sad.
So it's a cup because it's delivering the good stuff.
This cup, it's like a punchline. Seems simple, but it's got layers.
Yeah, but what makes it a cup? The liquid inside or the shape?
It's both. It's a cup because it holds our collective genius in caffeine.
So it's a cup because it's fueling our creativity.
This cup, Molly, it's like my life. Full of potential, but right now just half empty. Girl, it's just a cup. Why are you always making things so deep? But what makes it a cup? The fact that it holds liquid, or that it's the only thing keeping me from spiraling? Maybe it's just because you need to hydrate. So it's a cup because it's keeping me from losing my mind? This cup, Molly, it's like my life. Full of potential, but right now just half empty. Girl, it's just a cup. Why are you always making things so deep? But what makes it a cup? The fact that it holds liquid, or that it's the only thing keeping me from spiraling. Maybe it's just because you need to hydrate. So it's a cup because it's keeping me from losing my mind.
You see this cup? It's the key to the universe, man.
That's a regular cup, Eric.
But what makes it a cup? The fact that it holds liquid, or the fact that I can wear it as a hat?
I think it's just a cup, bro.
No, Hannibal, it's a revolution. Do you ever think about cups? I mean, really think about them?
Only when I'm drinking.
But what makes it a cup? The handle, the shape, the fact that I always spill coffee on my shirt?
It's the liquid it holds, Alan.
So a cup is just a container for chaos?
Exactly, just like our lives.
This cup, it's a portal to another dimension, man.
Totally, Tim. But what makes it a cup?
The fact that it can hold liquid, or the fact that it whispers secrets to me at night.
Secret, yes.
So it's a cup because it's a vessel of mystical power.
You ever notice how a cup is like a relationship? It holds everything together until it breaks and you're left with a mess.
That's a bit dark, Sarah.
But what makes it a cup? The fact that it's functional, or that it's a reminder of my last breakup.
It's just a cup, Sarah.
So it's a cup because it's there when you need it, and sometimes when you don't.
A cup, huh? Looks harmless, but I bet it's hiding something.
Like what?
Poison? Explosives? A tiny musical number waiting to burst out?
It's just a cup, Max.
That's what they want you to think.
You see, this cup is like the office. It's plain, it's functional, and it's sometimes used as a toilet.
Why would you use a cup as a toilet?
But what makes it a cup? The handle, the shape, the sheer number of things I can drink from it?
It's probably just the drinking bit.
So it's a cup because it's practical and underappreciated, just like me. You know, when I was a kid, I thought cups were like magic. They held all the juice and none of the disappointment.
John, it's just a cup.
But what makes it a cup? The fact that it's a vessel, or that it's my escape from the horrors of childhood?
It's a cup because it holds liquid, John.
So it's a cup because it's an endless fountain of dreams, or orange juice, mostly orange juice.
This cup, it is emptiness seeking fullness.
Master, does the shape define its seeking?
No, it is the space inside, the potential.
But if it is never filled,
This cup has traveled many miles, carried many stories.
Is it the stories that make it a cup shake?
No, it is its ability to quench thirst in the harsh desert.
But what if it is empty?
This cup, it's a marvel of technology. It tracks your hydration levels and syncs with your phone.
but what makes it a cup? The technology or the ability to hold liquid?
It's the integration of function and innovation. It's a cup because it's smarter than you.
So it's a cup because it's technologically superior?
This cup, it's a vessel of mindfulness. It holds not just liquid, but our intentions.
But what makes it a cup? The mindful intention or the space it creates?
It's both. It's a container for our inner peace.
So it's a cup because it reflects our state of being.
This cup, it is a void filled with absurdity.
Is it the absurdity that makes it a cup?
No, it is the nothingness it holds, reflecting our own existence.
What if we fill it with meaning? This cup, it's an art piece. It challenges our perception of function and form.
But what makes it a cup? The artistic intention or the physical reality?
It's the dichotomy of existence. It's a cup because it refuses to be just a cup.
So it's a cup because it transcends its own utility.
This cup, it is more than an object. It is a connection to our ancestors.
Sensei, does the handle represent their spirit?
No, it is the space within that carries their wisdom.
But what if the cup breaks?
This cup, man, it's like the universe. Infinite possibilities in a finite space.
Nah, it's just a cup, Darius.
But what makes it a cup? The fact that it's here, holding liquid, or that it's a microcosm of our existence.
Man, you're always on some next-level stuff.
So it's a cup because it contains the mysteries of the cosmos. And also coffee.
This cup, it's like our group. Dysfunctional yet somehow functional.
Seriously, Jeff, it's just a cup.
But what makes it a cup? The fact that it's here holding us together, or that it's filled with whatever this is.
It's filled with your ego, probably.
So it's a cup because it's the centerpiece of our chaos.
This cup, Paperboy, it's like our career, man.
What? It's just a cup. Earn.
But what makes it a cup? The hustle, the grind, or the fact that it's always half empty?
Man, I just want my coffee.
So it's a cup because it's the only thing keeping us awake.
This cup, it's like the MacGuffin of our story. It drives the plot forward.
It's just a cup, dude.
But what makes it a cup? The fact that it's central to our current narrative, or that it's filled with... I think that's Mountain Dew?
Okay, so it's like the one cup to rule them all?
Exactly. It's the linchpin of our story arc.
This cup, it's like our lives, you know? Full of potential, but mostly just coffee stains.
Yeah, I feel that.
But what makes it a cup? The fact that it's always there when we need it, or that it's constantly being refilled.
Maybe it's just because we can't afford anything else.
So it's a cup because it's our constant companion in this grind. This cup, it's filled with the finest brew in the city.
But what makes it a cup? The craft beer, or the fact that it's not a pint glass?
It's both. It's a cup because it holds the best damn beer you'll ever taste.
So it's a cup because it's a vehicle for your overhyped IPA?
This cup, Carrie, it's a symbol of our local culture.
Yes, but what truly makes it a cup? The artisanal glaze or the sustainable clay?
Or maybe it's the fact that it was handcrafted by a guy named Skylar in a tiny shed on the outskirts of town.
So it's a cup because it embodies the essence of Skylar's soul?
This cup, it's the perfect complement to our sourdough.
But what makes it a cup? The coffee inside, or the fact that it's served with a side of hipster attitude?
It's a cup because it brings together the perfect blend of flavors.
So it's a cup because it's a marketing gimmick? This cup, it's like super innovative.
It's a cup, Richard. It's not curing cancer.
But what makes it a cup? The fact that it holds liquid, or that it's optimized for maximum efficiency?
It's a cup because it's the only thing you haven't over-engineered.
So it's a cup because it's simple? This cup, it represents our company's ethos of wellness and productivity.
But what makes it a cup? The herbal tea or the corporate buzzwords?
It's a cup because it fuels our innovative minds.
So it's a cup because it's part of the wellness fad?
This cup is the key to my secret Krabby Patty recipe, Patrick.
Secret recipe? I thought it was just for drinking beer.
But what makes it a cup? The fact that it holds liquids, or that I've cried into it every night this week.
I think it's just a cup, SpongeBob.
So it's a cup because it's a vessel for my tears of desperation.
This cup, Dee Dee, represents the pinnacle of human achievement.
It looks like a regular cup to me, Dexter.
But what makes it a cup? The molecular composition, or the fact that it's the only thing I haven't turned into a science experiment?
I think it's just for drinking, Dexter.
So it's a cup because it's the only thing in this lab that's not a failure. This cup, Boots, is the key to our next big discovery.
Discovery? I thought it was for drinking margaritas.
But what makes it a cup? The handle? The fact that it's my only friend after all these solo adventures?
I think it's just for drinking, Dora.
So it's a cup because it's a constant companion in this crazy jungle of life. Dude, this cup is like holding all my regrets.
Regrets? I thought it was for coffee.
But what makes it a cup? The fact that it holds coffee, or that it's the last thing I see before starting another hopeless day?
I think it's just for drinking, dude.
So it's a cup because it's a container for my existential dread.
This cup is like filled with the power of unspoken feelings.
Unspoken feelings, and maybe some whiskey.
But what makes it a cup? The design? The fact that it's the last thing you use before you crash from a sugar high?
It's both, Stephen.
So it's a cup because it's a vessel for coping with life's chaos.
Dude, this cup's gonna hold our dreams.
Or just some punch.
But what makes it a cup? Folks, you ever wonder what makes a cup a cup? Is it the handle, the shape, or the fact that it's never where you left it?
It's probably the mysterious disappearing act, Conan.
So it's a magical object? A portal to another dimension?
Exactly. It's a cup and a Houdini act all in one.
Well, that's one way to look at it. You see this cup? It's like government policy. It holds promises, but is it ever really full?
Only if it's half empty, John.
But what makes it a cup? The structure? The rhetoric? It's what it holds. The content, the substance, or lack thereof. In the end, it's about what we put into it. Like our hopes for change.
So a cup, it's like the basic unit of adulthood, right?
I prefer my units to be larger, like a goblet or a chalice.
But what makes it a cup? The handle, the shape, the fact that it's always half empty?
It's the function, a vessel for liquid, caffeine, and desperation.
So it's defined by what we pour into it, like our hopes and dreams.
This cup, guys, it's a symbol of oppression.
Dude, it's just a cup.
But what makes it a cup? The shape, the function?
It's what it holds, I guess.
So it's all about the content. What's the deal with cups? They're just tiny buckets, really.
It's not a bucket, Jerry. It's a vessel. It's dignified.
But what makes it a cup? The handle, the shape?
It's the purpose. It's for drinking. End of story.
So it's defined by what it does, not what it is. Dude, this cup's gonna hold our dreams.
Or just some punch.
But what makes it a cup? Dude, this cup, it's like a symbol of power.
No, it's not. It's just a container.
But what makes it a cup? The shape, the function?
It's whatever you want it to be. It's a vessel for my awesomeness.
So it's defined by who's holding it. Cup, you can drink beer from it.
Homer, it's not just for beer.
But what makes it a cup? The handle, the shape?
It's what you put in it, homie.
So it's all about the beer? Folks, you ever wonder what makes a cup a cup? Is it the handle, the shape, or the fact that it's never where you left it?
It's probably the mysterious disappearing act, Conan.
So it's a magical object? A portal to another dimension?
Exactly. It's a cup and a Houdini act all in one.
Well, that's one way to look at it. You see this cup? It's like government policy. It holds promises, but is it ever really full?
Only if it's half empty, John.
But what makes it a cup? The structure? The rhetoric? It's what it holds. The content, the substance, or lack thereof. In the end, it's about what we put into it. Like our hopes for change.
So a cup, it's like the basic unit of adulthood, right?
I prefer my units to be larger, like a goblet or a chalice.
But what makes it a cup? The handle, the shape, the fact that it's always half empty?
It's the function, a vessel for liquid, caffeine, and desperation.
So it's defined by what we pour into it, like our hopes and dreams.